Alright. Oh, actually. Alright. I have mad echo going. Alright. What is happening? There we go. Okay. Killed the echo. Hi there. So, we'll go ahead and get started with my stream. Apologize for being a little later this week than the regular scheduled time. I've actually been teaching all day. My Calc 2 students have their first exam tomorrow, so I had like 8 hours of office hours today, and I just got home. Excuse me. But I just got home, and I'm ready to go ahead and get started. So today we will be seeing a 1350 ELO or so Tristana game, and we'll go ahead and get this started. I hope everyone is doing well. Just some updates on me and what's going on in my life. Our team, the Tasty Pastries, we recently reformed about 3 weeks ago. Oh, wow, that was weird. Apparently I was streaming to both my owned and my Twitch, and that was causing weird things, so hopefully it's better now. But anyway, my team recently reformed about 3 weeks ago with a great new roster, and we had pretty strong success so far. We took second in our first Go for Law. That was Go for Law number 77. Then we took third in the Go for Law number 78. And this last Sunday we took first. So we are the champions of Go for Law number 78. I was very happy to see that. It's great to be posting tournament wins already when we've only been a team for a very short time. Let me go ahead and pause this before we jump into that. So, just want to give you guys a quick update on what's going on with that team. We are the Team Tasty Pastries. You are able to find us on Facebook now. We have a team Facebook page, so you can expect big things from us in the future. I am really exciting and hopeful for big things in the future. We're currently attempting to find sponsorship. We have something lined up in that regard that may work out very well, and we're really hopeful. So, yeah, but that's about it. Stay tuned. I think one thing that I'm planning on doing in the future is getting together with some of my teammates, like Acerite, who's a 2300 ELO player. He's a very talented player. He's a great guy. Very nice guy. I know he's interested in doing more to help the community, and I might pull him in. We might try doing some like duo replay analysis, or I'm gonna work with him in some way because he's a very smart player and a great guy, and I'd love to get his insight here, and I think that would be great. So, but without further ado, I think I'll just go ahead and get started into this game. I'm gonna go ahead and hop in my Twitch chat, so you guys are definitely welcome to come into the chat and talk about this game with me as it goes on. Let me go ahead and pop this out. Alright, so I got Twitch chat. I think I'm ready to go. So we're looking at a 1350 ELO Tristana game. So let's go ahead and get started. This guy apparently linked me the wrong game because... Oh, no, there we go. Yep, Maker772 is the player who submitted. So we'll go ahead and focus our attention on that player. Alright, so the fact that you're only starting with 63 AD is kind of odd. It looks like you're running a lot of armor pen. So I think the best page to run on AD carries is all flat AD in general. Flat AD versus armor pen, going flat AD, you do sacrifice slight damage on champions that you would have with armor pen, but I think it more than makes up for it in how easy it'll make your last hitting, and how, especially like under tower, I think it's worth it to go all ADs, but that's just a minor thing and not something that I think is, game breaking. So it's really personal preference, but I think that AD runes are slightly superior. That said, if we look at the lane matchups, you are Trist and Tarek against Ezreal and Sona. So Ezreal Sona is a very strong poking lane. So what you're going to have to be careful in this lane matchup is you're going to have to be very careful about allowing them to get free damage on you, especially Sona. So ideally, a strong Sona player is going to sit in the bush, and her goal is going to be to Q you and run away without getting hit back, or to Q you and right click with a power chord, and run away without getting hit back. So your job in this lane is to make sure that every time Sona does that, you punish her in some way. So you always right click her no matter what, pretty much. You always try to get a right click, and if you can, as Tristana, try to throw that E on her, that explosive shot damage over time, as that'll be effective. It'll also reduce her healing if she tries to immediately W after. Now your Trist lane, you guys are going to have an extremely potent level 3 burst combo. So this is a lane that you're going to be looking to all in them at level 3 if you can catch them. So if you can hit level 3 before they do, maybe Ezreal will make a mistake by leveling his Q and W and not his E by then. You know, you're going to be able to go deep and possibly pick up an easy kill. But that's essentially your goal in the lane, is to try to pick one and burst them without getting poked down. And we'll see how that goes. Let me go ahead and switch it off directed camera. Actually, I think I'm just going to go ahead and stick to manual camera for now. So I mean, obviously you want to get last hits. When it's obvious that Ezreal is going to run up to try to harass you like that, try to just step to the side. You know, try to make him miss that W, or at least just give him, you know, a fat right click in the face to punish him for that. But the more, if you can dodge his W multiple times, you know, that's going to cause him to lose a lot of mana, and then you never want to get hit by his Qs like that. So always be careful. And so this is what I was talking about. You don't want to give this lane free damage. That's how this lane wins. Once again, more free damage. So that you're already misplaying by giving them all of that free damage. The other thing is that it's going to be very important to ward Sona's bush so that she can't sit close to you. Oh, she actually got blue buff. Very odd. I don't know if it was accidental that she stole Maokai's blue buff, but that's scary for you guys. So blue buff Sona is going to be nasty to deal with. But you can communicate with your sword and be like, hey, Tarek, please ward Sona's bush. As, you know, getting vision control on Sona is very effective as it shuts down her harass. And obviously you want to tighten up your last hitting. There's been a few last hits that you've missed for no real reason already, but you know, that's something that you can always do better unless you're getting perfect CS. Another thing is you always want to keep in mind like the enemy jungle and what their likely gank route is going to be. So the enemy jungle is Maokai, and Maokai typically starts his blue and then clears the rest of his jungle. So you're safe from ganks from Maokai until about this point, until about 3:45, 4 minutes. At this point, you know, Maokai he went back to base, then he headed to his red buff. He could have gone to his bottom jungle and started looking for ganks. But in general, you're pretty safe against a Maokai jungle until about 4 minutes. So just something you always want to do in lane is you always want to keep in mind the enemy jungle and their jungle patterns. The fortunate thing for you is that the Sona has blue buff and she's still playing rather passive and really not using her abilities. She's stayed pretty much full mana this whole time, which is rather odd. So once again, there you're letting the Sona get free damage as you back away from Sona there, because you don't want to stay and also get the Ez damage on you. But as you back away, you can right click her, back away, and right click her. Like you probably could have done 1 to 2 auto attacks off on her right there just to even out that trade. Because if we look, actually you're doing okay HP wise, so you're actually doing pretty well as you haven't used any potions. So and Ezreal has actually used 2, so you're actually doing really well in that regard. You're doing a good job of getting that E off on Ezreal just to keep that poke damage going strong. But the thing is, like, you guys should be looking to maybe get some aggression going on here. Especially as soon as you run this Ezreal out of potions and you get more harass that sticks. But yeah, you got to be careful with that. You can't eat everything like that. You can't eat a Sona Q, Ez W, right click for no reason. There's no reason to walk up to them like that. I think it looked like, yeah, you're trying to get your E harass on that Ezreal, but if you're going to walk up and harass someone like that, it has to be at the right time. It has to be when they're distracted and are not going to be able to hit you back. So it has to be like, now is a good time because Ez just uses cooldowns and Sona just uses Q. So right then would be a great time. They used all their abilities, they missed you, then you move in and get some damage while all their ability cooldowns are on. Or it's when they are distracted by like trying to last hit, or Sona's going to ward or something like that. So this is a dangerous gank. Maokai is a good ganker if he sinks in a lane brush like that. Yeah, and that Tarek is for sure going to die. Not a whole lot you can do there. Very silly exhaust. I don't know what that was, but And that all boils down to like you once again you can communicate with your support and tell him to ward this bush up here, because this bush is the bush Sona was sitting in. It's the bush Maokai came from. So if you communicate with your support and try to get that ward down to stop Sona, it's actually going to be also effective for these Maokai ganks. So okay, so spamming Tristana's taunt, his or joke or whatever that is also something that's very important to your Tristana play. So I'm glad to see you doing that. And one thing there is like you might as well recall there, like you just got zoned from all of the CS that happened there anyway. So you might as well have recalled. But on the other hand, if you did recall, they might have pushed the tower and you would have missed a lot. So. But it seems like you're playing very passively in lane. Well, actually what's going on is your Taric is playing very passively, which forces you to play passively. And this is something that in solo queue can happen a lot if you and your AD carry are just, or if your AD carry and support are just not on the same page. And that can be alleviated just by simply communicating. Just talk to Taric and just say like, Taric, let's be aggressive, and just like ping them and see if he'll go ahead and be aggressive. Because I feel like you guys definitely could exploit your high like bursts, especially at level 3, but instead you guys have played extremely passively. If you're gonna go ahead and push the lane out and recall it, make sure to push it all the way. You know, you and Taric have tons of wave clear. Just tell Taric to W this wave. He shatters it, you jump it, auto attack it maybe once, the whole wave's gone. It would have been pushed to his tower and Ezreal would have missed all of the CS. Instead, he's gonna get the vast majority of the CS, and he's also gonna be able to freeze this lane right in front of his tower if he wanted to. And so that was really bad lane control by you. You want to make sure that when you recall, you try to push the lane to the enemy team. So looks like you're picking up, so you picked up 2 Dorans and Ezreal has a Phage. So keep in mind that Ezreal does have that Phage, as it is going to be a little scary to trade right clicks or get hit by Qs, as if you do get that slow they could easily engage on that. So another Maokai gank coming. Looks like he really wants Taric and not you. Oh, Sona is 6, which is really scary. So good decision on you, just to jump on that Ezreal. I really like that turnaround. That's a great play. Great double kill, and unfortunately you're not going to have the mana to pick up the triple kill, but that's just a very, very solid play by you. Deciding, you know, hey, wait, instead of just running away and leaving my Taric to die, I actually think I can make a play out of this. And since that Ezreal went on and decided to take the turret aggro, there's just great decision by you to jump up in there. You know, they use the Sona ult, they use Maokai's W, they have no CC for you, and you know, Sona's exhaust is down from that last time when she randomly exhausted you. Just great decision to jump in there. Very solid play. That's going to help out your lane a lot. But one thing you are going to want to make sure you do is you do want to go push this up and go buy before, ideally before Ezreal comes back, because you did just get a double kill worth of gold. And if you don't go ahead and buy, then that advantage you get from that double kill, you know, is a wash. And there's no reason for getting, like, you know, it's effectively like you didn't get the double kill. I mean, you have the experience, but it's like you didn't get the gold from that double kill if you don't go back and buy. So you really missed your window to make a good buy here. As Ezreal's ult will be up soon. You know, his ult has a pretty short cooldown, so he's going to be able to clear that to your tower the second you leave now. So just something to consider, you know. So this is twice now that you've had kind of poor lane control and poor judgment on when to base and how to base. And so just, you know, keep that in mind in the future. Like when you get an advantage like that, if you don't go and buy, it's like that double kill never happened. So you could be sitting in lane right now. If we look at your gold, if you based, you know, you had at least 800 gold after that. You probably could have picked up, oh, you already had boots too. So you could have picked up like a pickaxe probably off of that. Come back in the lane with a whole pickaxe stronger than you are right now. And that would be pretty significant. Alright, so very good. There you go. And that was very good play right there. There you went ahead and traded damage on that Sona. That Sona went to trade with the Q auto attack on you, and instead of just backing off and giving her the free damage, you eat her and you right clicked her, and that's perfect. That's how you want to play it. You never want to give her free damage. So you went ahead and went aggressive on the Ezreal, used your abilities, and Sona chunked you in return for that. So you want to be a little careful. of that in the future, but it worked out okay. But once again, you're sitting on so much money, and I guess you're probably just going for the BF sword right now. So you almost have that, and you're just trying to get that. Looks like Makai is setting up for a gank. Since you don't have vision on Sona, this is kind of scary. And one way you can tell that like a gank is happening is if you just look at how the Sona played right there. Like, she ran out of the brush right here when you guys were right here. That's such an aggressive move, and that's totally unlike how she's been playing so far. That right there should set like this alarm, like, wait, are we getting ganked? And that's one of the easiest ways that you can tell if ganks are happening, is if your opponents radically change how they're playing. And on the flip side, if your jungle is ganking for you or mid lane is ganking for you or something, you don't want to suddenly change how you're playing, as that just makes it way too obvious. Alright, so that was decent aggression. Sona had ult but didn't use it. So you got to keep in mind that Sona still has ult. Good question in Twitch chat. When do you think you should get a point in Q? If we look at your skill order so far, all in W and E. And I think when you should start taking points in Q, it really depends. When you're laning with someone like Taric, your strength in that lane is really going to be in that whole combo burst. So stalling out Q is probably for the best, just so that you can really stay strong, keep scaling with that strong burst damage that Taric is going to provide, and keep trying to go for those insta kills. But you should probably, I like starting to get points in Q probably when you're at like level 3 or 4 in both of your abilities, like around here, you know, around maybe level 9, maybe level 10, definitely certainly by level 12. So you're definitely going to want to get points in there soon. And actually, I don't even think it's bad to max Q in lane, just depending on the lane. Not with a Taric, though, because with a Taric, that lane is going to be all about, you know, jumping in and bursting someone down. But if you're with, you know, someone like a Sona or something like that, I think Q max can definitely be effective. So you're finally going to be able to get to buy, going to be able to pick up that BF sword. You also have 460 gold, so yeah, good Vamp Scepter coming out. That's what I like to see. So at this point, you should start looking to be fairly aggressive in lane. If this Ezreal doesn't recall by the time that you come back, you're going to have a big item advantage, and throwing that item advantage away by playing, you know, really passively is not going to be a smart move. So you should be looking to really freely exchange right clicks with Ezreal, as you're going to be significantly stronger in that regard. And just kind of push him around, because you do have this very large item advantage. And this is the point where getting points in Q is going to start really returning big damage bonus boosts for you. Like early, getting points in Q, you know, whatever, you don't do that much damage anyway, so an attack speed boost is kind of but once you start actually building items and getting damage, your Q becomes just an insane steroid. And I don't think you should max it at the very last, because, you know, you don't want to end up with max rank Q at level 18. You know, getting some points earlier can help alleviate that awkward mid game that Tristana has. But you should definitely start looking to be pretty aggressive with your right click harassing, and so you should definitely have gotten at least 1 or 2 right clicks on that in that Taric stun. And you do have to be careful, because Sona does have ult, and they do have a decent amount of burst potential themselves, but still. So you want to, okay, so it looks like your team is picking Dragon, so going into Dragon is good here. You can help your team secure that. A lot of pings going down. Excuse me. Very tired today. Alright, so once again, though, you have this very large item advantage on Ezreal. You want to start bullying him around because of that. You know, a big part of LoL is taking the small advantages you get, like that double kill, and turning that advantage into further advantages. So through that double kill, which sets you ahead in gold, you now have an item advantage. You want to use that item advantage to start zoning this Ezreal. You know, poking him really hard. You know, he has 110 AD. You have 159. So you know, you do significantly more damage to him with right clicks. So if you are good about not getting hit by every Ezreal Q, like he got hit by a lot there, then you're going to be able to really exchange damage in his favor. And you should be able to poke him down here, like, on the turret. He shouldn't really be able to last hit your ranged minions without taking damage for it. So make sure, like, you need to assert your dominance in this lane. You just got to play, you know, you just got in an item advantage. That's where you need to assert your dominance and be like, hey, I know I'm stronger than you. So here's your options. You can either fight me or get CS. And you don't let him, you know, you make him choose. So here out there was odd, like the burst wasn't going to kill Ezreal. I mean, it kind of disengaged them while Sona ultied, but now neither of you have ulti. So that ult there was kind of odd. But you have such an item advantage, you want to work on poking them down and getting them low, and then fully committing onto the fight. So fully committing when they're both full HP, it's good because it did blow Sona ultimate. But it also, like, it's not going to kill them. Oh, I lost my Twitch chat. Where did it go? There it is. Alright, so you want to be really careful here now that your Taric left you. So that's really, really scary aggression right there to kind of turn and unload that damage on Sona. No, that's really scary. Sona could hit you with their slowing power cord and you could be in a heap of trouble. Just because your Taric's not with you. So you guys know that Sona doesn't have ult, so you don't have to be afraid of the Sona ult, but Ez definitely has ult, as you haven't seen him cast that in a long time, so you have to respect that burst damage. You know, Ezreal will do a sizable amount of burst damage if he lands everything on you. But your last hitting well, you know, you've kept this about 10 CS advantage you've had on Ezreal for quite a while. But the thing to realize is that you've had a very significant item advantage on him, and you didn't widen that CS gap at all. This whole time you've had a BF sword and he's been stuck on Phage. That's time that you should be increasing the CS differential between you, because you are stronger, you do have the advantage. So you need to look at how you're playing that, and you know, you be much more aggressive and assertive in lane when you have an item advantage like that. I'm trying to figure out how many more times I can say item advantage. I feel like I've said it about every 5 seconds so far. So alright. So you're able to pick up your pickaxe while Ezreal picks up a Sheen. So you're still, you know, you're still very strong. You just have to watch kind of the slowing from his Phage proc, but you're going to do a lot more damage than Ezreal right now, especially if he misses any of his abilities. So you definitely want to play pretty aggressive, and really you still want to be playing that very assertive way. Alright, so I just like hardcore zoned out there. But there you go. See, that's what you want to be doing. Now, as we just use this crap, you run up to him and be like, alright, you either fight me or you get CS. You don't get both. A lot of pings going down. Looks like Galio is coming for a gank for you. Unfortunately, that bush is warded. So one thing you want to do anytime you're laning bottom is you want to pay a lot of attention to the enemy team and how they're warding. So you always want to make sure you know where their wards are, so that when things like this happen, you can communicate with your team and tell Galio, hey, this bush is warded, so stay in that one until they push out or something. So you always want to make sure you pay attention to how they ward and their ward locations, and if you can, even call out the duration. So if you see them plant this ward in the brush, type like lane ward 350 or whenever they planted that ward, and then you know 3 minutes later that ward is gone. It's just very effective communication that can be very, really help you out. So once again, you have to be very careful when Taric isn't there, especially because they just saw Taric. I was gonna say, you're being crazy. Oh, and you die, and that's a very, very big mistake. So let's go back just a little bit. Let's watch this one more time because I really want to highlight this. So your Taric leaves you and then he shows mid lane. So he is mid and the enemy team knows it, and you see that ping comes out on you. So, oh shit, wrong button. So you're very aggressive in trying to trade right clicks, and then you're like, oh god, it's just me. And then right here is your mistake. You turn back to try to right click them in a 2v1 situation against Sona ult. I think you were okay until that, but you turned back for no reason. Oh my god, this Taric just went ham. Oh man, if this Taric cast his R before his W, he 100% would have killed Ezreal. That's so disappointing. That's okay. I think Galileo should clean this up, but very poor decision by you. So if your support leaves and they show in another lane, they know that you're by yourself. Oh, Taric could have killed the Sona too if he just stunned Sona. Just poor decisions from this Taric, but very poor decision by you. Only reason you died there is for effectively no reason. Like, you were gone and then you turned back to try to right click Sona and they just killed you. So, you know, don't do things like that. Those are the kind of mistakes that seem like, oh, I just made one mistake, but those are the kind of mistakes that can quickly lead to you no longer being able to carry this game. So at this point, you're no longer significantly far ahead of this Ezreal after that kill. At this point, you are, I mean, let's see, you're about 20 CS ahead. You know, that's decent, but it's not significant. And he has an assist, whereas you have 1 kill. So you're slightly ahead. If we look at total gold, you are at 6,500. He is at 5,800. So there's only a 700 gold difference between you two. That is not significant. You know, it's a decent amount, but that's not so much of a difference that like you're in a position to completely carry this game because you're so far ahead of Ezreal. And you know, that's those poor decisions, like small poor decisions like that, that's what prevents you from carrying games in a lot of situations. Looks like your team is being crazy. You know, Sona has no, very crazy jump in by you. Oh my gosh, very big mistake by you. So Triss jump is used aggressively in lane and in like 1v1s. In larger like team fights, you do not jump in, especially if you're the only one in there. And that's exactly why. Like, even if your plan is to go in there, get the kill, and then jump out, well, you went in there, Lux rooted you, so you couldn't get out, and then you just died. So Triss jump is not something that you should be using aggressively to jump in at the beginning of an engagement like that. Like, maybe at the end, if they're low, if they don't have any CC up, etc. But man, early in a fight like that, you're just going to die if you jump in. So this is bad. You've made 2 very big mistakes back to back. So dying here and then dying mid. 2 mistakes back to back. During that time, you've gotten almost no CS. And these are the kind of mistakes that makes you unable to carry a game. So right now, you're not even doing well anymore. Like, you were doing well. You got that double kill. You were 2-0. You were like 20 CS above this Ezreal. You were the man. Okay, well, now Ezreal is only, you know, 8 CS behind you. You picked up a kill and some assists there in that fight. But, you know, at this point, like, Ezreal is not significantly behind you. So, whereas if you played smarter and didn't die in those situations, you could have a much higher amount of farm and just be in a much better position to carry this game. So you went from playing really well to playing okay. Like, playing like, okay, decently well. And that's something, if your goal is to carry games, you can't make mistakes like that, as those are the mistakes that will prevent you from being able to carry a game. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and... Oh shit. Big play is Warwick ulting on Darius, which seems silly. He's like the tankiest man in the world to ult. Okay, so you're 3. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up for a little while, keep the camera on you. But it looks like your team is doing this awkward mid lane dance. You know, but if you look at what's happening, like, you're not getting that much farm. You guys don't seem to be pushing this turret. They seem to be clearing just fine. And Ezreal, meanwhile, is getting all of this farm bottom. He's now passing you in CS, and he's pushing bottom turret. So my question here is, why are you mid lane? You guys aren't pushing. You're getting behind on farm. You're getting behind on experience. So why are you mid? Like, there's no reason to be middle lane right now. And so you should be bottom lane with this Ezreal. Well, you guys do end up getting middle turret. And actually, Galio was going big, so the enemy team is silly and stays even though their turret falls. But I guess this might work out for you. But in general, like, and this is something that you'll commonly see at lower level play, is there'll be this point where your team is just like, I don't know what I should do anymore. Let's just all go mid and stand in front of their tower. And like, that's really not helpful at all. Like, you could have been bottom lane, you know, protecting your tower from Ezreal, keeping up in CS with Ezreal. You know, he's able to catch up now. Now he's only 2 CS behind you. So just that decision to be like middle with your team for that long for no reason is awkward. And you should be looking like farm is what you want as an AD carry. Farm, and be there for objectives. But like, standing in front of mid is not useful and is not helpful to get an objective most of the time. You guys were able to get the turret, which is good. But you also lost your bottom turret for it. So, you know. Now this is the point where Tristana kind of hits her early mid-game phase. And where you are going to be probably less useful than Ezreal. You know, Ezreal has a Triforce, you have Eye-Edge, you have a Zeal on him. So your items are in a good position, but Triss as a champion is kind of awkward at this phase in the game. You know, she is your team is going big here, picking up the kill on Ezreal. Oh, he lives. Oh, Mundo, no. So if you jump in here, I'm gonna be very sad. Good ulti by Sona picking you off. So one thing to watch is just like, you just took a ton of damage from AoE ultimates, and I think that's like, it's dangerous to chase this team through here, and precisely for that reason, because you guys just all got hit by Lux Laser, Ezreal, and Sona ult. So you always want to kind of keep in mind enemy team comps and your team comps and where you want to be fighting. And in a tight corridor in the jungle like that is not where you want to be fighting. Alright, so right there, you just died to Lux's laser with your rocket jump up. Very big misplay right there. You were playing it okay mechanically, you know, you're getting right clicks as you try to run away. You have plenty of time to react to that jump and just jump out of the way. It seems like you tried to desperately juke down, but you gotta react faster to that. You can jump out of that and be free. In Twitch chat, the question, finish Phantom Dancer or go QSS? I think this is definitely, you definitely want to be finishing your Phantom Dancer. You need to get your core damage items out on Tristana to alleviate that mid game. You could go QSS to help protect you against Maokai Root, Sona ult, Lux Snare, but at the end of the day, your team is going to need you to be doing damage. And like, that whole time, you lived through all of that until you were one of the last people to die. So you don't need the QSS, what you need is more damage. Alright, anyway, we can go ahead and fast forward here. So picking up bottom farm at this point in the game is very scary. You don't know anyone on the enemy team is. They could be doing Baron. Like, you have Baron warded, but they could be setting up and going for a Baron right now with you bottom. So you have to be very careful anytime you go bottom at this point in the game. You have to do it quickly, then you have to bust your ass to Baron. I mean, the enemy team doesn't seem to have any interest in Baron, which is good. But against higher level players, going bottom as an AD carry when the enemy team is all missing is a very scary play. And I'd encourage you to be very cautious of making that play. So it seems like you're aware of this, like you're clearing the lane quickly and then leaving right away. One thing is that I did see you pick up a green pot, and I don't know how I feel about that, as you know, the green pot was okay, but it was useful for all of that last fight. But I feel like, you know, just banking that 250 gold is going to give you much bigger returns right now. I think elixirs are great to get if you think the game is going to end soon, or if you like have a really strong advantage and you want to snowball that advantage even more. Like, if you got this eye edge before Ezreal had anything. Oh, big fight coming out. So Darius is running straight for you. Good use of your ulti there, and yeah, but you gotta juke that Ezreal ult. You have to see that coming, and you have to step aside of it. You are already on the edge of it. Just being able to react fast enough to just go away you know, would have been really good for you there. The other thing is that you kind of let Darius melee you. Like, I'm gonna rewind actually, so we can watch that one more time. But anyway, so this fight breaks out, and this Darius just charges you, and you do a good job after he uses his hook, which is his gap closer. You ultimate away. That's good right there. And then you don't kite him. You need to run away as you auto attack and stay at your maximum range. If you're not using the auto attack mechanic or the attack move mechanic, make sure you are. That's A plus left click. If you were A plus left clicking right there, it'll ensure that you stay at maximum range, as you do not want to let the Darius get close to you. And then you have to be heads up and watch for things like Ezreal. You're already on the edge of that Ezreal. You need to be able to dodge that. You just need to right click to the side. You would have dodged that and survived the Darius dunk. But since you let Darius sit on you, and you were also, since you let Darius sit to you, and you also didn't check that Ezreal, he was just able to dunk your face. And this is just the whole awkward Tristana's mid game. Like, you can't deal with Darius. Like, you can't 1v1 him because you have this really awkward mid game phase. You need more points in Q. You need your Phantom Dancer, and you need your Last Whisper to be able to handle him. And these all come from those two mistakes you made, where both times you die for effectively no reason. Those mistakes are what put you from doing awesome, I'm 2-0 in lane, 20 CS up on this Ezreal, to like, oh wait, this Ezreal's 3-3-9, and I'm 2-4-2. This Ezreal's 6 more CS than me. What happened? Well, what happened is you made these two really bad judgment calls that made you die, and that stopped your snowball. So a big thing in how you win League of Legends games is you use small advantages you get, and you snowball those into bigger advantages, and that's the snowball effect. You use a small advantage like getting a double kill, picking up an item advantage. You use that to wedge a more advantage, widening the CS differential. Well, when you die 2 times for no reason, that stops that snowball. You no longer have this advantage going. So they're able to catch back up, and that's exactly what happened in this game. So at this point, your team needs to be going for late game, and you need to be going for late game as Trist. Like, you are going to be significantly like less useful in team fights than other AD carries until you finish your core and get like around level like 17. So that's you need to be going for late game right now. Oof, so you almost got caught there. So you have your Phantom Dancer. That's very good. That's going to increase your damage a lot. You still need that Last Whisper, but it's okay. Very scary for you to go to defend this turret without seeing them. We all saw them. You saw them run into this jungle. And yeah, Maokai is running behind. So good job not getting caught there by that Maokai. Oh, but you have to be able to rack to jump out of that. Ezreal just ulted backwards. What the hell? Okay, so right there in your play, you shouldn't ever die with your ultimate up. You could have ulted someone away from you. When Maokai W'd onto you, you can W back to your turret and bring him back into your turret with you. No reason for you to get caught right there. And no reason for you to get caught right there at all. And then the other thing is, like, don't surrender this game. Like, I don't think this is a good game to surrender. You're Tristana. You're playing a late game champion. If you're not ready to commit to a late game as Tristana, which is, pushing past this 35-minute mark and going for like a 45-minute game, then don't play Tristana. It's really silly you guys surrender. Like, you don't even have an inhibitor down. Like, yeah, you guys just pretty much got aced, okay? They take inhibitor. That's it. They're not going to be able to push base turrets off of this. You're up in 35 seconds. Galio's up in 24. But, so I really don't like that surrender right there, but maybe it was you who said no. But if we look at what happened in this game, there were a couple things. You made some really bad decisions that caused you to die for no reason, and that stopped your snowball. And that's what let Ezreal get back in the game. It's what just prevented you from carrying this game. Following that, you had a couple bad team fights mechanically. So just by looking at your play, it doesn't seem like you're using the attack move mechanic. And you really, if you go to my website at www.rockalackalili.com, I do have a guide on the attack move mechanic in the guide section. I would encourage you to read up on that. Attack move is going to keep you at maximum range, which it doesn't seem like you're doing in this fight. And that long range is one of Tristana's biggest strengths. Right now your range is 676. That's the longest of any AD carry in the game at the moment, and you need to be staying at that maximum range. Other than that, that's about all I have to say. So If you're playing well early, you can't do stupid things. Doing stupid things prevents you from carrying the game, and that's the biggest thing that happened. You just made 2 mistakes, and then a couple of bad team fights, and you can't carry that game. So, yeah. So that's about all I have to say on this game. But thank you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching. You can please, if you would, please like this video, subscribe. You can comment on it, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see from me in the future. And thanks a lot for watching. I'm going to go practice with my team and discuss some things with them. So thank you very much.